Hey Andy, what you got over there?
A milkshake?
No, I mean like what's in your wrist?
Oh, this? Oh, this is just the most state-of-the-art technology. You can call, text, and ask all your most urgent questions just straight from your wrist. Watch this. Hey,
Shut the hell up.
What's the size of the universe?
About 93 billion light years. On the website bbc.com, they say, the observable universe is, of course, much larger. According to current thinking, it is about 93 billion light years in diameter.
Yeah, that's cool, I guess, but like, isn't that a bit bulky? Here, check this out.
oh, neat. So you can call,
Yep.
and text, and
Yep.
wow. Tell me less. Alright, I'll admit, the smartwatch craze is coming to an end. Even I'm switching over to a mechanical watch, which I guess isn't saying much because I haven't expressed how enamored I am with smartwatches on this channel, but damn, I love smartwatches. Even then, smartwatches are still something really cool to talk about, so let's take a wind back and look at the Asus Zenwatch 2, 1.63 inches of mediocrity. The Asus Zenwatch 2 was released in October of 2015 for $150 US, making it just under 5 years old. Even at the time when it was launched, it wasn't priced at a top-of-the-line smartwatch. Rather, it was marketed towards the masses as an affordable, budget, and great value option. Specifically, the cheap price caught the attention of the masses. During those last 5 years, the Asus Zenwatch 2 took a short-lived reign as the best budget smartwatch, and for good reason. It sported a pretty big screen. It's a 320 by 320 AMOLED display at 1.63 inches. Display is sharp, but it's not great, and I can still see the individual pixels. Under the display then is the Qualcomm Snapdragon 400, supported by 512 megabytes of RAM and 4 gigabytes of onboard storage. While these were by no means flagship specifications, that was okay because that wasn't what the Zenwatch 2 was built for. The Zenwatch 2 was built to be mediocre. For a low price, you can get your hands on a smartwatch that allows you to call, text, and do other smartwatch things straight from your wrist. Again, for a very low price. And it's been 5 years since it was launched, so let's see how it still fares in the current day. So the primary function of any watch is to tell time, and the Zenwatch does that perfectly. I mean, considering it's a smartwatch that's connected to the networks to sync to global time, that shouldn't be a big problem, and I'd be concerned if it was, but yeah, the primary function on this watch, checking time, that's a plus. The only issue is you have to have always on display on. If you don't have it on, it's rather tedious to actually check the time. You have to lift your wrist up, wait a beat, and then the screen will turn on. And you know, if I just want to look at the time with a mechanical watch or something, I can just stare at it and know exactly what time it is. I don't need to wait that extra second, that extra pause. It gets rather frustrating over time. But in terms of how accurately it keeps time, of course it keeps time perfectly. But now let's look at the smart component. Of course, it's been several years since it was launched, and so the performance can't be expected to be perfect, but it's still rather choppy, and the UI elements freeze up, there's a lot of input lag. It's overall not a great experience. It's definitely not this smooth experience you'd be used to on a smartphone or something, but it is usable. The interface on this watch also isn't great. What do I mean by that? Well, there's watches like the Galaxy Watch and the Apple Watch. The Galaxy Watch has that rotating bezel, which allows you to navigate through apps without covering your screen, and so you can see everything, and you have very precise controls on which app you want to go to. It feels tactile, it feels great. Same with the Apple Watch, you have the crown, which allows you to navigate through your apps, scroll without having to use your finger on the screen. It's just a matter of fact that my fat thumb and this small ass screen do not make a good couple. Navigating the UI is really hard, and it's hard to do anything precisely, especially the fact that they expect me to be able to type on a keyboard on this 1.63 inch screen. It's insane. But you can still open the app drawer with a click of the crown button and scroll and open any app, because it does make it pretty easy to press one big hitbox, one big app. Most apps that you want to be checking, that is your phone and messenger apps, launch quick enough for it to not be annoying, but I still wouldn't say that you want to launch these very often. Even though these are the core apps on a smartphone, they work as expected, but they still have a lot of input lag, and it takes a second to launch, and it just really gets in the way of everyday use. A smartwatch also isn't really meant for media consumption, but you can still find third-party apps for that as well. On the Play Store, you can find third-party YouTube players, media players, music players, and install that all directly on the watch. Those apps do function as expected, but they really do heat up the battery, make everything just really hot, and it kills the watch, basically. It kills the battery, makes it super hot. Not an enjoyable experience, but a useful experience. Speaking of battery then, how long does this watch last me on a single charge? For me, typical day-to-day use, it lasts me the entire day. This watch was advertised for about a 2-day battery life, but I've never been able to achieve that even with my always on display off. Granted, I did actually buy this secondhand, so that's something to take in mind. If you buy this new, which I don't think you can anymore, you will get better battery performance, but over time, of course, it degrades. On light use days, which is how I use the watch, I just use it to check time, occasionally check notifications, but I don't do use any apps or make calls on my watch. On a light day of use, it'll last me the entire day, but if I start making calls and I start using my watch to do messaging, it'll maybe last me 4 to 5 p.m., so I'll have to charge when I come home from school or when I come home from work. Overall, the battery, like everything else, is just mediocre at best. As for the support on this watch then, for a 5-year-old smartwatch, this actually does rather well. It runs Wear OS 2.35.0, which is based on the Android 7.1.1 operating system. This operating system is now years old, but I'm sure if you look online, you can actually find a flash for a better or newer Wear OS operating system for the Zenwatch 2. There's a lot of great support online. I actually installed my update of this operating system before it was released over the air, and I just installed it over ADB. Considering it still had support up to around 2018, that was a great thing to see, especially considering it was about a year past the support cycle. Since then though, I haven't gotten any major updates to the OS or to the watch, although there are still minor changes that happen to the watch from time to time, and it's really interesting to see them, come through in waves. For example, the interface for actually switching watch faces has changed quite a bit these last few years. It started off with having to long press the screen to switch watch faces, then they switched it to a swipe where you can swipe left to right to switch left to right on the watch faces that you had installed, and then they moved back to a long press, but now they changed the swipe functionality from opening the app drawer to opening a weather and a Google Now application, which is really cool. The UI also got refreshed from a dark navy blue to black, and I actually really like this update. It supports the AMOLED of this watch a lot better because it saves battery life because most of the pixels are turned off all the time. The only issue with that is I've noticed that once you reset this watch, it does go back to its navy blue counterpart for some reason, but then after a couple of days, without any notice, it will switch to black. Now, here's a major deal breaker for me, and probably one of the reasons why I won't be using this watch for much longer. The manager for this watch, because it's a Zenwatch, there's a Zenwatch manager. It's been taken off the Play Store. You can no longer install versions of the Zenwatch manager on your phone, and so you lose a lot of fine controls from the manager on this watch that you used to have. And for me, it's just not great. I've lost a lot of functionality on this watch, and I don't think this watch is going to be that usable without having an app to help me manage most of how I use this watch. The Zenwatch Manager was a super useful app that gave you control and access to your smartwatch via your phone. It's been long removed, and all of the functionality that it did have, well, it's been gone for so long that I've even forgotten what functionality it even provides. The Zenwatch is also square, meaning watch face support was also really hard to find online. As for a square watch, most watch faces on the Play Store are built for round watches such as the Moto 360 or the Tick watch, and so there weren't any major watch faces built for a square watch like this. Some that I have found that I recommend is the Radii watch face, the one that I'm using right now, which is the Pixel watch face, and there's a Classic 2 watch face. That one's not built for square watches, it's just clean enough to not look intrusive on a square watch. Otherwise, I'm rather disappointed in the selection of watch faces on this watch. As for the watches that come default on the watch itself, they aren't that great either. I mean, they all try really hard to look classy or to look like a very fancy mechanical watch. But the issue with that is, given that you can see the actual pixels on the display, it's not gonna come off as fancy. And besides, the full color of these watch faces drains the battery, and even if you keep it on only the always on display, the always on display looks it looks really terrible with these classy watch faces. There's a lot of stuff that just doesn't translate from the watch face to the always on display version of it. And lastly, having a full color watch face just makes the really thick bezels stand out even more, which I don't know, I don't think anybody wants. So what's the deal with the Zenwatch then? Should you get it? Well, if you're in the market for a really cheap smartwatch, even then, I wouldn't recommend it. At the time, the Zenwatch was positioned as a really great budget smartwatch that would let you get into the Wear OS game or the, at the time, Android Wear game, and not have to break the bank to get a cool watch that you could use to call, text, and message from. But overall, the lackluster support, the horrible performance, the dying battery, and just overall all of the issues that this watch has makes it very likely to not last very long, and I think you'll just be better off with buying a cheaper smartwatch or just a mechanical watch, honestly. That's not to say I'm not recommending this watch to anybody. I think if you are in the market for trying a Wear OS smartwatch, but you don't know if you want a smartwatch or if you just want to stick with a mechanical watch, this is a good watch to sort of show you what Wear OS can do. And if you keep in mind that this is going to be the bottom of the barrel for Wear OS smartwatches, I think if you'll be satisfied with this watch, you'll be more than happy with any other smartwatch. Again though, this is really only like a midway stepping point. If you want to go transition to a smartwatch, you get this for $100 secondhand or something. Use it for 2 or 3 months and then say, okay, this is what I want in a smartwatch, and go look for an actual good one. I wouldn't recommend this as a standalone product. If any of you guys do have this watch, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you probably don't, but if you do, let me know if I said something that you think is untrue, if I forgot about something on this watch. I'd love to hear your feedback. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. If you want to see more videos like this, they're on the channel. And if you want to see more future videos that I make or my friend Aditya makes, hit subscribe. I'm gonna go take this watch off now. I'll see you guys later. Yep. 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 Yeah.